Hello everybody, thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry I'm running a little behind on my videoing today. I was napping a little bit and still not feeling great, but palms high and it's just crazy. But anyway, how are you all today? I hope you're doing well. Hello to my new subscribers and to all of those who continue to follow me and leave me such wonderful comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Last night, after I, put in my signature and stuff, I went through some laces and things like that. I still haven't chosen one. I'm coming close, but I'll get there. So then I was going through my ephemera to see, what I was going to put in my book and realized, you know what, I don't have a lot of writing space. And a lot of the ephemera I made doesn't have a lot of writing space either. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. And I like to have a lot of writing space. Now, this journal is going to be basically like you see it. And I am going to be selling this because I am going to be opening a shop. So it's going to be called the Journal Shop, the Journal Cottage. And if any of you are interested in purchasing this journal, of course, you can always reach me. It won't be finished for a little while because I'm still waiting for a few things to come in, which won't be here until like, I think they said the 6th or the 10th. I know it's been shipped, what I'm waiting for. So, and like I said, I still have to decide on the lace. I still have to put on the velvet, and I have to create some writing space. So I thought what I would do today is bring you along and show you some of the ideas that I have for writing space. One of the first things, though, I wanted to show you is I am so excited. Yesterday, last night actually, while I was, finishing up and cleaning up, I was watching Marnell from Mimi's Keepsake. And she and Beth from Yes, I Made It Myself. So it's Mimi's Keepsake on YouTube. And Yes, I Made It Myself, Beth from Yes, I Made It Myself on YouTube are running a spring swap. They did a fall swap. I don't know if they did a winter swap. They may have. I don't remember. But the spring swap sounded so much fun, and I haven't swapped in a long time. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and write them an email, and I haven't checked my email yet today, but I hope I was on time. I'm pretty sure your application, or not your application, but your email to join needed to be there, I think she said by the 6th or the 7th of April. And then you'll be partnered, and then you'll get in touch with your partner, and then you'll create something, and then you'll swap it. I thought that was really fun. It's for Canadians and US only because of the shipping and the costs and the time that it takes to get anywhere else in the world, as you all know, is just crazy. So, yeah. So, Marnell on Mimi's Keepsake was making a clutch, and she had decoupaged napkin to music paper, and I thought, how genius. I had not ever done that. I've decoupaged a lot of things in my life, but it came out gorgeous. So I was going through my napkins, and look what I found. I'm so excited. I found some bunny napkins. I knew I had them. I just couldn't find them. Now I have my napkins all separated with spring, fall, winter, summer. And then I have like anything with children, anything with animals. And I had been through all my animal ones and nothing, no rabbits. But I knew I had them, and then I thought, well, maybe I used them. Nope, they were my spring ones. So I'm really excited about that. So what I thought I would do for the Beatrix Potter one is I also have this rabbit flashcard. Now, what I was going to do, I was definitely including this in the journal, and I thought what I would do is put some tea stain paper on the back, and this could be writing space. But I just can't resist. I have to put a bunny napkin on the back. So what I did was I just gestured it because it was quite you know, shiny like the front of this. And I'm not going to do anything to the front of this. I'm keeping it the way that it is. But I did add some gesso on the back, but very lightly so that you could still see rabbit and what the rabbit is all about. It's a flashcard, a children's flashcard. I have like cat, dog, horse, you know, what have you. So anyway, I just thought I'd come along and show you how I will decoupage this, and then I'll show you some other ideas that I have for some writing space. So the first thing I'm going to decoupage is this, and I'll show you how I do it. It's so simple and very fast. And I really and truly wanted to put this one on here, but I'll lose, no matter how I put it, I'd lose it. So I have another idea for that, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what I've decided on was this one, because even if I had to cut some of it off, which I don't have to cut much of it off, as you can see, I would center it and just, you know, maybe tear off, you know, some of the sides. Now, it's obviously not going to be as tall, which is fine, because I still want to be able to see, you know, some of that. So all I do before I separate it, I do this. Now, I only need one piece, and I don't, you know, which direction do I want them to go in? Do I want them to face this way? Do I want them to face this way? So I think I want them to face this way. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but that's the way I'm going to have them facing, I think. See, oh my goodness, I'm so indecisive. I think I'll just stick with that, and that will be that. So all I do before I separate it is I will cut this out, because I just want to make sure that I don't take apart or just, you know, take away any of those other bunnies, because they can be used for so many different things, you know. So I'm just going to cut this like so. And I have so many ideas for writing space. So this will be two of the things I'll show you today, and then I'll be back to do some more of what I thought about. Now, I don't want to just place it on here because it would be too square. So before I separate it, I'm just going to kind of tear around it to how I want it. This is before I'm separating it, because for me, it's just easier. Now, Marnell has a great idea where you can use a water pen. It's like a water brush. I have one. It's like this. And you just, after you separate it, you just go around it to where you want to, you know, where you want the image, what part of the image you want. But I'm so used to doing it this way that I'm afraid that if I do it that way right now, I'll make a mistake. So I want to try that a couple of times before I do something on video and then make a mess of it. So I'm just going to tear this like this, because I know that, you know, I don't want it square, obviously. Well, you can. It's just this is just how I do it. I just kind of tear it around because I just wanted to kind of blend right into my piece. I'm going to save that for now. I may throw it away because if you could see my desk, you would die. This has been the best and most fun journal to make, and I can't wait to start my next one. But I have other journals I have to make before then, and so I have to kind of stick with my schedule here. I'm going to get way off. Now that'll fit almost, so I need to take just a little bit more off. So I'm going to do that. Now remember, I haven't taken it apart yet. If I took it apart, then I might tear more than I really want to. So it's almost there. I'll take a little piece off of here, just a little, not too much. I hope I'm in frame. What are you all working on? I have so much Easter, so many Easter things I made, and I haven't made a journal. So, I mean, you know, I've got tons of ephemera, and I've got all the journal pages ready, but I haven't made a journal. My daughter is a director of an autism program in Vermont. It's the oldest in the nation. And she's been there since she was a junior in college. She did an internship there, and now she's the director. And so every year I come up with something to make for her to give to her colleagues. And I don't know if it's up here or not. I've already made 4. I'm going to do some on camera. I'll show you. I'm going to do some on video probably tomorrow. But I had to make 30 of them. So I've been really busy doing those. And they're fun. And I've made them before. I don't know if I've ever made them on camera. But you can definitely use them in your journals or send them to somebody you know that may have autism or have a child with autism. They're just so fun and they're so cute. And I wish they were right here because I would show you them. But I'll show you them in my next video because that's probably what I'll do. So yeah, so that looks good, right? So now I'm just going to get rid of these tiny pieces so they're not in my way. I don't think I really need to add anything around him. Let me just check. And this is obviously coming apart already, but there's a couple of plies, so it's okay. That kind of has a rounded edge. I'm thinking I might add that to it just to make it a little bit larger because I may have cut it a little bit too short. So I may or I may not. I'm going to save that and see how it looks. So now all I'm going to do is, you know, take apart my plies, which pretty much come right apart because I've been tearing at it. If it doesn't, then just use your tape, you know, your any kind of tape. Yeah, it comes right apart because I've been tearing it. Like that. And then he will go right there. Now I use glue stick. You can use matte medium, matte gel. You can use anything. But my first step is glue stick. And unfortunately, I'm out of my Scotch Create. So I'm going to be using Elmer's, which doesn't matter because I'm going to be going over it with matte medium. So I'm just going to put him here where I think I want him, which is about there because I want this rabbit to be, you know, to show. And I was going to, you know, take them all out and just have the rabbit, but then I just love the flowers and things like that. So what I'm going to do is take it, I know I want it there, so I'm just going to take here and I'm going to glue it here. And don't worry if you get any glue where you don't want it, as soon as it dries you can erase it off. So I'm not fond of this glue stick except for when I do my doilies or things like that because it doesn't stick real well. Because, you know, it's just Elmer's children's glue, unlike the Scotch Create, which is permanent and that kind of thing. I mean, it's okay. It's good glue. It's a good glue stick. I just happen to love the Scotch Create, and I'm out of it. So I do that, and then I just take my napkin. And like you see, there is some glue there, but that's okay because, you know, you can erase that once it's dry. And I make sure I get it, you know, had it everywhere. And now I'm going to take this side. I'm going to peel it back a little bit till I see my glue. And I'm going to now just glue this side. And I'm pretty sure it went all the way to the edge, so I'm going to do the same thing. And just make sure I get under there real good, because I don't want, when I put my matte medium over it, I've been using a lot of matte medium, so, you know, doing the glue stick, I don't use a lot of the matte medium, which is more expensive than the glue stick. And sometimes I don't even use matte medium, especially if I'm going to emboss the napkin. I don't use the matte medium. So sometimes I'll put the napkin on cardstock, and then I'll run it through my embossing machine, and it just looks so nice. It really looks beautiful. So now I'm just gonna spread that like that. Make sure it's all stuck down. And I have a little bit up here that still needs a little bit of glue, so I'll do that. And this way you don't have any wrinkles, it's flat, and you can leave it like this. You do not have to cover it with matte medium at all. You could just leave it just like this, and it's not going to do anything. Now the other thing I use, and I may use it now, which I think I will, is I use glue and spray starch. And I know that sounds silly, but I use school glue, Elmer's school glue, just about a teaspoon, and spray starch. And I put it in a little jar, and that's what I use. I think I mentioned it in one of my journals, but I mean one of my videos, but I've never actually used it on a video. So I'm going to be doing that. I think I'll use that today. It dries matte and fast, very fast, like in 2 seconds. It doesn't bubble, and it looks great, but it coats so that it won't tear or anything like that. So now my bunny's done. It's all glued. Right up, there's a little tiny piece there that looks like it needs a little bit more. So just go around, make sure your edges are glued down, and don't worry about any glue that you might get, you know, anywhere else, because like I said, if you wanted to, which doesn't matter to me because I'm going to be putting the my choice. Now people will use the glue and water method. They'll use Mod Podge, which I can't use, not in Florida, because it will not dry. It will stay sticky. If you don't mind, I'm just going to take a piece of my paper towel here and get the glue here off, just so that I'm actually going to go and just take this little piece here that is on the edge. Make sure this is all glued down. Looks like it. I'm just going to kind of go over it just to make sure that it's all down before I put my sealant, I call it. Now see, I just went over that too hard, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. Just looks like he has a little white spot there. And I could fix that with another napkin, but I'm not going to. I think it looks fine. Maybe I'll put a little flower there. Make it look like there's a flower on him. Maybe. I'll see. Let's see if I can make it so that it looks like there's a flower up there going. Hold on 1 second. So you can kind of piece things together, which is, you know, it's nice because you're working with the glue stick, so you've got, I shouldn't have rubbed that hard, but I did, and it's okay, because I can kind of fill it in if I wanted to, which I think I'm going to. Let me just get a different piece here. Oh, here's one. And let's see, I kind of want this purple in there. just going to kind of patch that in so it looks like it's coming up over him. Can you see how it's like, how that happened? And it's glued on there good because, yeah, and you can still see through, you can still see the writing through, you know, different parts of it, which is nice. So now I'm just going to take my glue and my spray starch, and what I do is I take a can of spray starch that you use on clothing, and I spray it over my kitchen sink. I spray to cover the bottom. So there's, you know, about an inch of spray starch in here. And then I just add about a teaspoon of white glue, and it lasts forever. Then I'll take my brush, and for this I'll use a soft brush. I mean, you can use, which is really, I mean, that's good too, but I was thinking maybe I'll do that because I don't have water in here to wash my brush, and you pretty much, no matter whether you're using, oh, I can use something else. I know what I have. So now what I'm going to do is just brush over this with some of this spray starch and glue. And watch how fast it dries. And it's a sealant. And go in the same direction. Same thing, middle to the edges. And look, that flower filled that in quite well. I like how it looks. Happy accident. Very happy accident. It looks adorable. Looks like that flower is just meant, you know, it was there in the napkin to begin with. And just brush it on. And the good thing about this too is it really doesn't warp or anything like that because it's spray starch, it's not water. Now the glue has a little bit of water in it, but there's not that much glue in it. It's mostly spray starch. And I didn't even shake it or stir it, but it's fine. And somebody could still write on this if they wanted to write just a lyric or, you know, whatever. But I just thought it looked cute. And there you go. Done. If I keep doing this, it's going to come off. Not come off, but I mean, it's just going to be, I'm going to start tearing the napkin off. And just go along your edges just to make sure that those don't come up. Which they shouldn't, because they're already glued down. And this just makes it more positive that it's just never going to go anywhere. And it kind of blends right in to make it look like it was painted on or what have you. And then I just close it up and save it for the next time. I don't make a lot of it. Like I said, I just fill it with, you know, the spray starch to about right here. You know, cover the bottom about an inch. And then a teaspoon of the Elmer's school glue. And then that's done. And I don't have any water in here, but I do have hand sanitizer, which takes off everything, including glue, which will take it off your mat. It takes off inks. Like yesterday, I was working with ink and stamping and things like that. My hands were a mess, but as soon as I used this, it took it right off. So now my brush is nice and clean, and I'll put this to the side in case I have any on my mat, and I'll use it again and again and again until I'm done with my gluing or what have you. So it takes the glue right off if you don't have water in your craft room. I mean, I have some right outside my craft room, but I just forgot to bring some in. And now my brush is nice and soft again, and it's fine. And it's just hand sanitizer. I get it at CVS. It's very inexpensive. I started using it after COVID because I had so much of it. But look how it cleans your mat. Now I have a little bit of glue there, so I'm just going to squirt it. And boom, gone. My glue is no longer on my glass mat. And when I glue, I do typically, and well, I do have a mat coming. I ordered one, a silicone mat, because I noticed a lot of people using them and they like them. So, yeah. That glue may have been there. I think it probably was. But watch how fast it comes off. And I'm talking art glitter glue, Fabri-Tac, anything. It takes it right off. And I'll just leave this to the side. And I'll leave this to dry. And I'll show you how fast that will be dry. It'll be dry anytime soon. So the next thing I thought about was a glassine bag. Now this is a big glassine bag, so I'm going to fold it this way. I'm going to put my napkin on it, decoupage my napkin on it, and then this is going to become a little booklet, and I'm going to put some tea stain paper or what have you inside here. And this is going to go into a pocket. It's going to be a little booklet. And I may add something on the inside of here. I haven't decided yet. But I do know that I want to do the bunnies, these, on the front of this. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with that one. I'm going to open it up. Where are we? I don't want this video to go too long, because I have one other writing space idea. And that really wasn't a writing space idea. It was just I was very excited about it, so I wanted to show you. So again, I'm going to just cut here. And as you can see, I haven't separated my napkins yet. Which one do I want? Oh, I wanted the blue butterfly. Now this one, I'm not going to tear as much because it has a lot of white and you're not going to see it once you get it onto your glassine bag. And I don't know how well my glue stick. Now see, I have my napkin all set for my next time. So I don't know how well the Elmer's is going to hold this down, but I may use the medium for this. So now let's just tear where I want to tear it so that it's not square. I definitely want to keep the butterfly. That makes really a big difference, I think. And I don't want to lose a lot of the flowers, so I'm just going to be very careful how I do this edge. Might not even tear that at all. I definitely will tear this down here. I hope this is helpful for people who do napkin decoupage, because I love it. I love doing napkin decoupage. You can do it on, you know, cardboard or fabric. I have never tried it on fabric, but I'm sure you can. I'll show you something I did with decoupage and napkins. It's just, and it's 3 years old. I still have it and use it on a pretty much daily basis. So I'm just tearing very carefully along this edge because I don't want to lose that, but I don't want it real square either. So I'm just kind of, if you can see, taking just a little bit of that edge off. And see how much easier it is if your napkin is not separated yet. And I am definitely going to try Marnell at Mimi's Keepsake. I definitely want to try her idea in, you know, gluing water, using the water around your image. Just taking a little bit more of this white out. Being very careful not to get his ear. And like I said, it's white so it's not really going to show once I get it on the glassine. That's adorable. So cute. And that's going to be my front. And like I said, I don't know whether I'm going to put some, you know, something decorative in here or not. I might. And I'd maybe something decorative in here. And then, you know, the tea stain paper will be in here. Maybe like 4 or 5 sheets. I mean, let's see, probably 3 sheets folded in half. So that would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to write. And it's very thin, so it's not going to bulk up my journal. And I will likely use, for my tea stain paper, something as thin as this. This is tea stained graph paper. So it's nice and thin, but you can write on it. It's really nice, and it feels good. So I'll probably use something like this, just so that it doesn't bulk it up. So I think that looks good. I like it where it is. So I'm just going to separate it if I can. I'm actually probably going to use my tape because, where's my Scotch tape? Oh guys, I would die if you saw my desk right now. I have been through my laces, I've been through paper, my scraps. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow is definitely the day where I need to clean up. This is something else I've decoupaged, and this is 3 years old. It was blue. I got it for nothing. It was just a blue box. And I painted it white with some just acrylic paint. And then I decoupaged it. This is like a piece that I had torn apart of, like, this woman put this little on her dress. And then just pieced it and added some lace. And I keep, you know, little bits and pieces that I use for my laces on the inside. And I lined it with just scrapbook paper. Not scrapbook paper, but a digital. And I just, you know, made sure it fit and glued that on. And I use this all the time. And there's a magnet here so that when I close it, it's magnetized. And it's got all my bits and pieces in it. So you can decoupage anything. It may have taken 2 napkins. And then I covered it with that starch and glue. There's no Mod Podge on that or anything. I use the glue and starch method. This is dry, by the way. It is a little bit, you know, just, it is warping a little bit, but I'm going to wait until it's completely dry, and I'm going to stick it under my glass mat for the night, and then it will be nice and flat and ready for my pocket. So let's get back to this and my tape, which I can't seem to find. I know it's right here because I've been using it because I followed Marnell's lead last night, and I made what she was making. So you just take your tape. I know a lot of you do this already, and you put it wherever and pull those apart. And sometimes you'll get both, or maybe sometimes your napkin will only have 1. This happens to have 3 flies. But just take your time, peel it off. It'll come off. And I'm just going to throw these pieces away. I typically will keep them because I do print on them. If they're, you know, if they're the whole piece, I print on napkin all the time. So that's going to go right there. Now, big question. Do I use my matte medium? I won't use the starch glue. I'm actually going to go ahead and use this and then go over it. Because I always use glue stick, but I've not used the Elmer's. But I still think it's going to stick fine. So I know that that's where I want it. And I'm just going to, you know, do enough so that I can place it where I want it. which is right there. And don't rub it too hard like I did, or you'll tear it. And now I'm going to pull it back to where you can see where the purple is. And I'm just going to make sure that I get plenty of glue. Oops. I probably should just open it up, right? But this, I think, will be good because, like I said, it will add the writing space. It will fit nicely in a pocket, and it won't bulk up my journal. Just a quick idea I thought about. I thought I'm going to bring you along as I finish this journal and give you some ideas on how to fill it with ephemera without bulking it up too much. I love working with glassine as well. And now I've got plenty of glue on there. I'm just going to place my napkin, and I'm going to just carefully, that purple will disappear, as you know. Can't believe I'm out of my Scotch glue, but that's all right. It'll come. It takes a while too for Amazon, and the stores around here don't carry it. I have to order it from Amazon. But it comes in a box of 4, so you never run out, unless you're me and don't pay attention and you go to get it and you're out. Because I keep it in back stock, you know. I just keep one on my desk, and I just wasn't paying attention. So I'm not worried about that purple. It's going to disappear. I'm just going to lift this up on the edge because I know that I really didn't get it down there good. You know, the glue. So I'm just going to take my glue stick. And this worked really well, by the way. It's holding it fine. So I am glad that I did go with it because this is just how I do it. And I'm not rubbing it too hard. Just kind of patting it. Just make sure it's under there good. I don't like the purple, but it does disappear, as you can see. Now I'm just going over it lightly with my finger just to make sure everything's down tight. Pull this up and this up. Get some glue under there. Now, I'm not going to use my matte gel because I'm afraid that it will crinkle the bag. What do you think? I don't know. Like, I don't want it to scrunch up the bag at all. I'm going to try it. Why not? I have more napkin and I have more of these if it doesn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and use the matte gel just to show you the difference in the matte gel medium and the starch. And that looks like everything's down. Just going around my edges. How adorable. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found these napkins. I knew I had them, just didn't know where. Sometimes you can be too organized. Now, I very rarely do this. I typically will put this in my little dish. I, you know, put it in a little dish, and then I take it from the dish. But I'm going to go ahead and take it from this. Where is my... Here it is. And I'll use this instead of a brush. And I've got about this much. I'm going to go from the center and do it very carefully. And this wipes right off. I really do like this. So I'm going very carefully and blending my matte gel. Just make sure it doesn't get real dry. And this dries pretty quickly too. And I like the texture, I like the feel. It makes it almost feel like Marnell had said, it makes it feel almost leathery. So I do like the feel of this. You know, using the matte gel when I do decoupage on, especially on that music paper that I used last night, the vintage music paper. Oh my goodness, that came out really well. I was very happy with that. And it was fun. So thank you if you're watching Marnell from Mimi's Keepsake. And there we go. And see, using the glue first, you have a little bit more control. Now that is a little bit, just a little bit, not much. And don't worry about that. You know, it looks a little bit, right now it looks a little bit cloudy, but that doesn't matter. It goes away. I'm just using up the rest of my matte gel here. I don't want to do too much because I don't want that to tear my napkin, and it is dry. It dries very fast. Very fast. I'm just making sure I get my edges good. And it didn't really wrinkle the bag at all. It seems good. I was a little nervous about that, but it really did a nice job and blended that white right in. I'm going to put a little bit more on this white up here where the butterfly is, just to make sure that that blends it in good, those edges. So it looks like the butterfly is not on the napkin and actually on the bag. And that's it. So now I'm going to, again, take what's still left on my paper towel of the hand sanitizer and clean off my little mask. They use this for like masks, like if you're gonna use a mask on your face or what have you. I use this all the time, so anybody that's not new to my channel knows that already. So this is a matte gel medium. They also have a gloss, which I'll use for different things. It depends on what it is. And there you go. And like I said, you'll see it in the next video when I finish it. I may or I may not put something back here, you know, inside, and then, you know, close it up. I may sew around it, and then I'll put in some signatures. I may leave this open as a pocket for a person to put some secret things in, but that's how that came out. So yeah, so there's a writing spot right there. And then I think we're into this video too long. I'll leave these here. I think we're into, let's see if this is dry. It's pretty dry. I'm just gonna let it, still feels a little cold. That's how I test it to see if it's dry. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's dry enough and looks good. And that's the spray starch and glue. And this is the matte medium. And it is curling a little bit, but I'm not worried about that at all. It will stop. And then if I want it flatter, which probably not, I could always put it under my mat or under a book or what have you. But that's it for today. I do have some more ideas right here next to me. I'll do that in the next video for more writing space for our journal, Beatrix Potter. And it is called The Works of Beatrix Potter, if you are interested, on Rach and Bella Crafts on Etsy. And this is my design team project, which has been for about a month, which I don't typically take this long. And I am so sorry, Rach, but I know that you understand. So until next time, be well, be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye. And thanks again, Marnell from Mimi's Keepsake. And yes, I made it myself. Beth, if you're interested in their spring swap, visit their channels. They're amazing artists. And get all the information and their email addresses and join in. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.